Trwa studio wyborcze w telewizji Republika. Teraz, proszę Państwa, coś specjalnego dla widzów Poland Daily. With us Ben Lee from Poland Daily. Hi, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Now Ben will present the results of elections of the viewers of the Poland Daily.
Sure.
Ben, please.
First of all, the very interesting thing about this particular European Parliament election is the absurdly high turnout rates. Comparing to 2004, 2009, 2014, on the previous cycles, the turnout rate were around 20%, but now we are looking at a whooping 43% turnout rate. So we can see that the enthusiasm for the vote is absurdly high.
It's a historic result.
Yeah, it's like a very record-breaking. And now we can go into the actual exit poll, which is very exciting. We have the ruling party, the conservative Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, or the Law and Justice Party, leading at a 42.4%, and the main opposition political group, called the European Coalition, at 39.1%. The far-left party with the openly gay leader, Robert Biedroń, 6.6%. The right-wing and nationalistic Konfederacja Party at 6.1%, and the Marxist Lewica Razem, or the Left Together Party, despite having the backing of the Baywatch star Pamela Anderson, the party only polled 1.3% out of the vote.
Ben, what is this election's difference from the previous ones?
Well, yes, in the sense that it's very different because, well, this election not only involved in the representation of the European Parliament, but it also is a really good reflection for the political sphere in Poland. Because since 2015, the Law and Justice Party has taken over the presidency, the Congress, the parliament. So essentially, they have full reign over the political sphere of Poland. And this election is essentially a referendum of how they've been doing. You know, people are coming out in droves to voice their opinions about how the party was doing, if they're doing good, if they're doing bad. And that's why we see such an absurd amount of turnout, because people are eager to voice their opinion, and also it would reflect really well on the upcoming elections on October.
Last question, what about European perspective?
Well, if we talk about the European spectrum as a whole, we can start by the numbers in Germany, where we have very troubling news for the German center-right CDU-CSU coalition, polling only 28%, which lost 7% of the vote comparing to what they did in 2014. And the socialist SPD, who got 15%, losing 11% comparing to 2014. We have a party with election gains, who are the Greens party, 22%. They gained 11%, which is a very high gain. And we have the alternative for Deutschland finishing with 10%, which is 3% higher than in 2014. When we look at France, we show the Victory Front National with 25 to 27% of the votes, about 20% for presidential party Republik En Marche, and 10% for right-wing conservative Republicans.
Ben, thanks for now.
Yeah.
Ben Lee.
Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily Weather. I'm Paulina Adlerstein, and let's start with the forecast for tonight. So tonight the temperatures will vary from 8 degrees in Olsztyn, 9 degrees will be seen in Białystok, also in Bydgoszcz, Poznań, Koszalin, Szczecin and Zielona Góra, and the maximum temperature tonight will be 13 degrees around Krakow. Clear skies will be seen in the northern parts of the country, also around Koszalin, Szczecin and in the central parts of the country. Now let's check the forecast for tomorrow. So tomorrow in Poland, quite sunny in the southern parts of the country, also around Bydgoszcz, Poznań and in the lower Silesian parts, yet it will be quite rainy and also thunderstorms may be appearing in the eastern parts of the country, so we have to be careful. Also Warsaw and Łódź might see some more rain tomorrow. The maximum temperature will be 24 degrees in Rzeszów, Krakow, Katowice, also around Wrocław and Warsaw, and the minimum temperature tomorrow will be 15 degrees in the area of Koszalin. Now let's see the upcoming days. So on Tuesday up to 24 degrees and the minimum will be 17 degrees. In the western parts of the country, quite a bit of showers will be appearing again. On Wednesday, up to 22 degrees in the western parts of the country, and also a lot of rain is expected. And on Thursday, the most sun will be seen in the northwest part of the country, and the minimum temperature will be 14 degrees in the northeast. This is all for tonight. Thank you and see you soon.
Poland Daily Business Edition. Welcome to the show tonight. Our guest is Olaf Wojak of Adam Smith Center. Well,
good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Sir, one of the factors in the economy is a minimum wage. This is being sorted out in the United States. This is an issue in UK and other free market countries. We are also Polish government wants to rise this minimum wage to 2,500 Polish zlotys brutto. That's about 500 euro. Not that much for the cost of living in Poland, but this is a significant factor for entrepreneurs.
You made a mistake. It's not a main factor of an economy. It's sometimes a factor of economy, but it's not necessary. I mean, you can imagine our economy to work without the minimum wage, and I'm pretty sure it would work well and even better than with it. The problem is the minimum wage is rising each year pretty high, not as high as it's supposed to, looking at our economy. This is also an election year, and somehow this time the rise of the minimum wage is as big as it never was. So if it's so great, so why we want it to rise to 10,000 zloty or a million?
In 2017, the minimum wage was about 2,000 zlotys. A few years earlier, it was about 1,500. So that's significant growth. Yet, if we are looking at the wages paid to workers in Poland, they are usually higher.
I would like you to understand that it's very good for people to earn more. And we don't have problems with it. The problems are the taxes concerned with working, because hiring at the minimum wage is also hiring the taxes that are going to be taken from those people.
Let us explain to the viewers what are the costs of the labor in Poland.
Well, we're paying the ZUS, which is our social security, which is one of the highest taxes as we pay.
If you say in percentage, how big is it?
It depends how much you earn, but it's from 40 to even 55%. So it's pretty high.
So if someone got this 2,500 Polish zlotys, his or her employer has to pay about 50%.
About 40 to 50%.
That's another 1,200 to Polish state.
Yes, which we pay the money because we have to admire that in other countries, as United States or Germany, the insurance is also very expensive. But the market of the insurance is different. They have quite more free market, and they can decide to whom they're putting their money to. We don't decide. We just take the system. We have one company, a national company, which was acquired and maintained by the socialists. It was built in, I don't know, the 50s or something, and their goals are different. We have different times right now.
Right.
I mean, we don't have communism anymore, so we have to give choice to all of...
So the social security is one of the highest costs associated with the wage, and there is also income tax.
Income tax, of course, which is 20% and sometimes more if you earn more money, till 30 or 40% if you're really having a lot of money. Yes.
So if you sum up, you are hiring the person who earns this 2,500 Polish zlotys. And then you have to pay another 1,200 to Polish state as a cost of this labor, and then another 20% as an income tax.
No, and there's another 20% paid for this person. So the company pays 20%, and this person pays 20%. To give you an example, if you want to earn on your hand 3,000 zloty, you have to pay all of the taxes, and all of the whole amount of money you have to be prepared for is 5,100 zloty. Yes, so it's a quite big comparison. I mean, it's almost twice as much.
And if we are talking about the rising the lowest wage, it means
You
from
will
the
pay
point
money.
of view of entrepreneurs that their labor cost will grow.
Yes, but it's not only a problem of the entrepreneurs, it's the problem of the employees too, since they have to make this money for this company. I mean, besides the administration, no one will pay you for not creating money.
Right.
So you have to work as hard to make it possible.
So the choice for the entrepreneurs is to squeeze more efficiency from the existing workers rather than hire new ones.
Or firing if they're not making this much
Right.
money. And this is a problem, because if you're not educated well, if you're not smart enough, and you're just, you know how to do small, simple things, which are paid, but they do not fit in the amount of 2,500 zloty, then it means you're an illegal worker. And it's not fair. It's really not fair for all of those who don't fit in this market to don't have as equal rights to earn money as the others.
Because even if they will get a job, this job will not be, for example, associated with the social security, because
Yes.
they can go for a self-employment, set up their own company. Then you will hire them as an unofficial worker, but they will have no social security.
For instance, and probably other rights, as they cannot go on vacation, they cannot get sick, and all of the other things. So it's very important for us to understand that when the minimum wages is higher and it's getting bigger,
Growing, yeah.
it's not only something good for the people who are going to take it, but it's really bad for the entrepreneurs. It's even bad for the economy. The politicians do it with happiness. They want to do it because, first of all, they're buying votes.
And this is an election year, 2019.
But second rule, they have much more money from the incomes in taxes. They have much more money for the insurance system, which is not doing well and failing for many years right now. And it's also hiring their own incomes, because politicians earn as much money as equivalents of the minimum wage and the middle wage, it's counted. So even they have more money out of making the minimum wage higher. So it's kind of not fair, because they're buying votes using our own money, and they're closing up. There is a gap of people that are not going to fit in the system.
Right.
And I believe that if someone would make an experiment and free our economy of minimum wage for 2 years, just to check what would happen, I believe the result would be really, really awesome. And with making it, with doing a second choice of lowering the working taxes, really would show up as a growth of income, of money to
what you are saying,
financial ministry.
From your point of view, this is just PR stunt that will hurt the businesses rather than help them.
No, it's a way of doing policy. I do not only think that the only reason is to buy votes. No. Of course not, because there are people that are going to earn much more money. But the problem is how much it costs the whole economy and the whole country and all of us. And I don't think that it's worth it.
It's interesting whether the level of taxation in Poland will be the matter of the discussion before the general election this October.
The promises are going to be made, but the question is if the parties are going to really stand up to those promises.
We're going to monitor it very closely. Olaf Wojak of Adam Smith Center was our guest.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
And that was it for Poland Daily Business.
Good evening, welcome again to Poland Daily Weather. I'm Paulina Otterstein, and let's start with the forecast in Poland for tomorrow. So up to 24 degrees will be seen tomorrow in our country. In the lower parts of Poland, 24 degrees will be also seen around Warsaw, and the minimum of 15 will be seen in Koszalin, Gdańsk, and Szczecin will see also only 17. And tomorrow we are expecting quite a bit of rain throughout the whole country. Now let's see what will happen in Europe tomorrow. So tomorrow in Europe, the coolest place will be Oslo in Norway with only 11 degrees and some showers as well. 20 degrees will be seen in Paris, 19 in London and 14 in Dublin. And the warmest place will be Madrid again with 29 degrees. This is all for tonight. I'm wishing you a beautiful evening. Good night.
Welcome to Poland Daily Culture. I'm John Carter.
And I'm Paulina Otterstein. Today we're going to show you some cultural hotspots of Warsaw.
Right behind us we have Plac Zbawiciela, and we're going to find out why this is such a significant cultural hotspot of Warsaw.
Come and join us.
Okay, welcome to Poland Daily Culture. I'm here with Artur Gorniejewski, and here we are, Plac Zbawiciela. Now we're going to have a little discussion about kind of culture old and new here. So right behind us we've got the kind of Baroque, Renaissance old church. It's all blended together with brand new cafes, restaurants, night spots. Tell us about maybe your favourite night spot here, because I know you're a local resident, Artur.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for giving me a possibility to talk about this place, where, yes, indeed, I live right over there on the second floor. So there is a very nice view to Plac Zbawiciela, Zbawiciela Square, and where a lot of local people are hanging out, spending time. Variety of architecture, these differences are representing best our history and our culture, and it has always been like this. It's not only World War II destruction and then reconstruction in a different style that makes it different, but it was like this even before. The church itself was constructed before World War II, and that's what we like, that we have pre-war elements in here, and also these today's elements of local restaurants, clubs, cafes. During almost every single tour, I take my clients in here from all over the world, at least to drive through this place, so to show them, look, first, there's a place where you can buy yourself a wine and sit outside and have a proper, good, nice wine in the corner. Then you
What
have...
do you recommend then? What do you recommend? as a
Water,
place?
water, John.
Sensible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then-
Always keep a clear head.
And then we have Georgian restaurant, then we have Thai food, then we have sushi, and then you
Any good Polish food nearby?
any good Polish food. It's not a place for a typical Polish food, but okay, 1 block away there is typical Polish restaurant, and one restaurant which is sort of Czech, like from Czechia food, which is very similar to Polish
I know
food.
what you're thinking of.
The big one.
What's it called again?
Szwajk.
Ushvay, yes. With a big meat party, yeah.
Exactly. This is where everyone will just fix. But this place became magical. I mean, it became part of our culture, and that's why I am so happy that we are doing this culture program right in here, because this would be the first place that would come to my mind if I was to talk about Warsaw's today's culture.
Yeah.
And this is when you can see real Poland, right in here, when you look at these people, because Poland is people. So when you look at these people spending time in here, then you get to know about us. And this is this famous place, the combination of a restaurant, Charlotte, and Plan B above. So the Charlotte is a breakfast place, famous breakfast. They make their own bread, so you can get very nice sandwiches. It's like French style place.
Yeah.
And so you can get yourself a baguette, you can have some chocolate, some cream, some marmalade that they make on their own. But then if you don't have time, you can just line up and you can buy products for takeout. And then you can make a breakfast on your own. And so morning coffee, such place, it became to be. For 8 years, people, it's full all the time. And then afternoon comes, people are still hanging out. First, bottles of Prosecco appear, and people just working. It became an office. People open their tablet, their computer, and they work in here. And then the middle table for the breakfast is raised, so it becomes like a higher table. When people start to have drinks in the evening, mostly wine. It's a wine place. They don't have beer, they don't have vodka, they have only Prosecco and wine.
Classy.
I don't understand it. So, if you don't like this plan, then you just walk behind this place, you walk up the stairs, and there is the place called Plan B.
It's a bit sort of, so if Charlotte looks a little bit classy, Plan B is a bit more, it's supposed to look a bit more rugged, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically became a kind of hipster central, and also a place where you get a lot of like the sort of foreigners and the expats and tourists kind of all meet. So you've got a big mishmash of all sorts of different people up there, just behind you actually. You a regular visitor up there? Do they know your face?
So I see this place from my window, so every single evening I check frequency, how many people there are.
All right.
Is that a good night? Is that a bad night? How does it work on this particular day? And then, yes, of course, I met many people in here, and we are hanging out, we are spending time. One of the guys, we just passed him. He was just on the way for his stuff to a shop. And that's what he does when he goes to a Plan B and he meets a girl, then this is how he talks to her. So listen, if you don't like the Plan B very much, there is always Plan C.
Does that work?
And there's his place right behind the corner.
He's got some balls, I'll give him that. Yeah, so what else have we got on the square? So if we've got Charlotte, Plan B, what else have we got on the other side then?
So we have, there are mostly restaurants. These are international restaurants.
Yeah.
So whatever you feel like getting, you can get over there. They put tables outside. People are spending time. And there is a theater right behind the corner. There is a stand-up show, comedy place. And there is this one more spot that Warsawians cannot understand. Which it's right behind you, this building with a yellowish ground floor and grayish, not modernized upper floors.
Yeah.
And every single time when they establish some kind of restaurant, a bar over there, it bankrupts in a year or two. So maybe we need a guy with an idea and who would like to take some risk and responsibility in this very popular place to open something that will be cutting edge in Warsaw. Why not?
Yeah. Polish restaurant?
You got me very easily. I was about to comment on it. John, tricky. Okay. Yes, we are thinking what can be done in here. A previous place was like you get a beer in price of €1, like $1
Right.
for a beer, 4 Polish zloty. So let's say a little bit less posh. Part of Warsawian society started to attend this place, and maybe people didn't want to hang around. Maybe it needs another style. So I am looking forward. I have windows right across. So we'll see how it goes.
Plac Zbawiciela, Savior Square, was originally designed by 18th century royal gardener Johann Christian Schuch as part of the Royal Gardens. Located toward the south end of Marszałkowska Street near the Royal Baths Park, the square is named after the Church of the Holiest Saviour, which was built in 1901-1927 and stands at the square's southern side. The square is intersected radially by 3 streets: Marszałkowska, Mokotowska and Nowowiejska. Its center is a roundabout encircled by a ring of buildings containing shops, offices and residences, as well as the church.
So the interesting thing about this square, or it's not actually a square, more a roundabout, is that you kind of got roads going off in all different directions. So it's a kind of, you can end up in all different points. In fact, just behind you, you've got this Mokotowska Street.
Yes.
Which is kind of would you say the most exclusive street in Warsaw? There's a lot of issues going on there at the moment, which have kind of been topical and in the news. And what actually goes on Mokotowska Street? When I think of it, I think of sort of rich ladies' boutiques.
Exactly. So that's like, this is a street that we can compare to Paris. Many original buildings over there, many original tenant houses, and they are just being modernized. It's just finished at the moment, so you can see the beauty of these tenant houses, how rich they were and are right now. Very expensive apartments, of course, and then modern boutiques. So Mokotowska Street that takes us straight to the Three Crosses Square also becomes one of the symbols of Warsaw.
Yeah.
And also great places on the way, beautiful area and people hanging out over there. Then in here we have Marszałkowska Street, so this is how we get straight to the city center, to the Saxon Garden or territory of former ghetto. Then we can go straight this way to reach a metro station, underground subway station of Politechnika, and another local restaurants over there. Then if you would like to continue this way, there is Pola Mokotowskie, so it's 65 hectares of a park where people are hanging out with their dogs, frisbee, barbecue, or sitting on a bench and practicing Polish national sport, which is drinking beer. And then you can continue straight to the south. So to continue straight to the south, and then you can take Aleja Wyzwolenia, so to go to the Royal Łazienki Garden, the Royal Łazienki Park, or the Botanical Garden, or just the Royal Route, which is right over there.
I was just thinking about, like, probably, although perhaps less so the case now, in my opinion, the original reason for the kind of popularity and, let's say, kind of vibrancy of the area is the fact that you've got the university so close. And I'm guessing originally it was a kind of more studenty environment, which gave it a kind of bit of youth and energy. Sort of now I feel like maybe the students are slightly priced out of coming here, because now I just see kind of people who are a little bit older than that. But would you say that the original kind of popularity has its root in the fact that it's so close to the university?
Every 10th inhabitant of Warsaw is a student. There are more than 200,000 students in the city, and the biggest universities are in close neighborhood indeed. So we have University of Warsaw next to the Royal Route, which has its building all over the place. Metro, subway Politechnika, because of Politechnika University. Yeah. So their buildings are in close neighborhoods. So of course I would like to confirm your theory that there were a lot of students passing by this place, walking around, hanging out in here simply. So casual places had to adopt in here because of casual people spending time in here. And then we have Warsaw School of Economics.
Great, so thank you very much, Artur Gorniejewski. Let's move on to the next spot.
Thank you very much, John Carter. Let's do it.
Hey, thank you for watching.
I'm John Carter.
And I'm Paulina Otterstein.
And we'll be back again, same time tomorrow, for another episode of Poland Daily Culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Poland Daily History. Today we will be talking to Mr. Artur Gorniejewski, a tour guide who receives hundreds of international guests every year who all yearn to learn more about Polish history. Together we will explore the locations he takes them on in Warsaw, Poland, and Central Eastern Europe. So Arthur, you are a tour guide, but not just relegated to Warsaw. If some foreigners come over here, have a few days to spend outside of touring Warsaw, if they were to visit some other places in Poland, where would you usually take them?
Well, Poland, 331,000 square kilometers of history sites. So where shall I start? North, south, east, or west? Tell me.
Oh, let's go north.
Let's go north. So I will take you north to Gdańsk, which is so-called Singapore of Poland. Crazy rich merchants over there who were collecting taxes out of goods and transported through Vistula River to the area of Baltic Sea, Sweden, Scandinavia, and ports in Netherlands. The biggest in entire planet Earth church made of red bricks is right over there. So the old town of Gdańsk is simply amazing, but there was a moment in our history when Gdańsk was outside, it was an independent city of Gdańsk, so we constructed another port in Gdynia, so that second city, and still we need one more city to practice our national sport. Remember?
Sure.
Drinking
on a bench.
So there's Sopot, and Sopot is a place where you book yourself Grand Hotel and you walk out barefoot straight to the white sandy beach, and then you enter Molo. Molo is like a bridge that goes into the sea, 1 mile, and there's a very big wooden pavement that you can use to enjoy your time, like in the Baltic Sea area. So it's so-called the Free City agglomeration. What's interesting over there, Solidarity Museum. I'm telling you, Ben, Solidarity Museum is the only museum that cost a tear in this eye, because it presents determination of Polish people, this resilience to get back our final independence. There is also amazing World War II museum. This is where Solidarity labor union movement started. This is where Lech Wałęsa provided his most important speeches. And Gdańsk is, and during August we have Dominican market over there, so you can buy a lot of goods out there. That's very nice time in Gdańsk. And right next to Gdańsk, there are so a little bit to the east we have Mazury Lakeside district. So there are a lot of big lakes after ice ages, and there is also Wolfschanze, so Wolf's Lair, Adolf Hitler bunkers, where he spent more than 1,000 days of World War II. This is also where General Stauffenberg tried to kill Adolf Hitler in his bunkers. So another crazy important history site. Then we have a beautiful church in Licheń, which looks absolutely in an amazing way. So there is a perfect match combination. So if we reach the eastern side of Poland, then let's continue south to Treblinka, to the death camp of Treblinka. There are beautiful national parks in this area too, so you can see a bison over there. And of course we have Bison Grass Vodka, so you can continue sightseeing Poland in a Polish way. Bison Grass Vodka with a little bit of apple juice, that's Polish apple pie.
All right, that's what it's called.
Exactly. So let's go south to Lublin, one of most prominent cities in the medieval times, with a concentration camp of Majdanek right next to it. So every single time we have a combination of history sites, one next to each other. And I can tell you this, the Royal Castle in Lublin, when I describe it to my guests, it looks like a cake. It does. So sweet, it's just so cute, it's just so amazing. And Lublin is also a very important place for Polish people in Polish history, because this is where Lublin Union was signed in 1569, when Poland and Lithuania became one country, with every single latter king elected in a democratic way.
Warsaw is located in a quite central part of Poland. As a result, tourists who wish to also explore other parts of Poland will never have to travel further than 300 to 350 kilometers to visit Poland's other large cities, often frequented by tourists. Next up, we will talk with Mr. Goniewski about the main cities in southern and western Poland.
So we started our conversation today talking about the northern side of Poland, and we're working clockwise towards the east. I was wondering if you can take us farther down along with this journey.
Yes, only if I could cross Ukrainian border, I would take you to Lviv. I visited this city a half a year ago, and it's a beautiful city. We call it a pearl in Polish crown, but of course, in nowadays Ukraine, it's an Ukrainian city, but there are amazing sites connected with Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Beautiful city. Absolutely worthwhile to take a look at Lviv. But then if we smoothly came back to Poland, and then a beautiful countryside would take us next to Carpathian Mountains. These are the oldest European mountains, and we could drive along them so to reach Krakow. So many times in top 10 European best destinations. You know, Warsaw and Krakow are rivals.
Right.
So if you ask Warsawian, yes, if you take Warsawian about Krakow, then every single Krakow guy thinks that my speech is doomed. But I will astonish you. I like Krakow very much. Because these are roots of Poland. That was our capital over there. Krakow wasn't destroyed during World War II because Adolf Hitler wanted to make a capital of his future empire over there in Krakow.
All right, look at that.
Exactly. And right next to it, there are also nastiest concentration camps in the area of Auschwitz and Birkenau. There were another 26 concentration camps. So it's also very important history site. But also, what was the reason of wealth of people of Krakow and Polish kings and queens of this time? Salt. So there were very important salt mines, and today we can see salt mine of Wieliczka, and within the centuries, miners carved regular cathedrals downstairs in these salt mines out of salt. You can literally try if it's salty.
Right.
Really, that's what the tour guides say, but then they inform you that 1,000 people before you were doing the same thing.
Right.
A lot of fun over there. That's a great area. And then my little favorite city, south from Krakow, Zakopane. So if we have guests from US at the moment watching us, let me tell you this, Aspen of Poland.
Okay.
It's a city surrounded with mountains. That's why we call it in our language Zakopane, which is like digged, covered, because it's surrounded with mountains. That's where my grandfather taught me how to ski when I was 3 years old. And in this area, there are great ski resorts. So above of history importance of this area, you can relax in a great spa, hotels, therms. So you have these very healthy waters coming from the underground, and you can have a bath looking at the mountains. How about this? And then let's continue our journey to the west through Silesian area. A lot of coal mines over there, so you can see Guido mine, which was a coal mine, and you can also go down there and take a look at the machines that were used throughout the centuries over there in that mine. So to continue, this is the area of the greatest Polish castles constructed in 14th century, so we were fortifying ourselves against Czechia. There was a very big conflict in between Polish kings Władysław Łokietek and his son Casimir the Great, because Jan Luksemburski, he had the right to take Polish crown. So first we paid him money to have the right, and then we fortified ourselves, like constructing little China Wall, the Great Wall, to protect ourselves from another country. So there are a lot of amazing castles, but the castle that I like presenting my guests the most is castle in Książ. That was a castle of Hochberg family. And there was a moment when Hochberg family, that was Prussian family, they were the wealthiest people in Europe. They had more than 1,600 factories. And Mr. Hochberg married the most beautiful European lady, Princess Daisy. There is a legend about Princess Daisy that you could grab her hips just like this. And that was the thing in Europe over then. What I like showing to my guests over there, first European central vacuum cleaning system. Beautiful place, worth visiting, and then maybe I will take you to another places as well.
As we have seen today, traveling is an integral part of learning history. Through the eyes of a tourist, given historical context by a guide, we were able to learn the events that shaped Poland and its culture. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and I'll see you next time on Poland Daily History.
In the green and fragrant southern suburbs of Warsaw, on the old road to the town of Konstantin, lies the 17th century palace of Wilanów, home away from home for the storied Polish king Jan Sobieski. Just as in the past, citizens, travelers, and tourists journey to the outskirts of the capital, mimicking the behavior of Jan Sobieski himself, who often sought refuge in his palace. Yes, he was the hero of Vienna in 1683, the battle that prevented the Turkish invasion of Europe. This is one of the landmark occurrences in both Polish and European history. And this was the residence where Jan Sobieski came to reflect. This Latinate palace would be at home in Italy or France, perhaps particularly France, with its sculptured flower gardens, its invitingly relaxed facade, and its ornamental canal. Motifs paying homage to Roman and Greek myths adorn the facade of the palace itself, as well as the gardens. It's a pleasant place to relax and reflect. You can see why King Jan Sobieski had it built for this purpose, which it serves remarkably. Go there yourself when you're in Warsaw. You will not be disappointed, as these programs will show. This is the palace, not just of a king, but of a great king. In fact, Jan Sobieski is one of the seminal figures in European history, and this palace perfectly reflects the mind of that very special individual.
Okay, folks, welcome back. A lot of the sculptures, paintings, and other things that were done, ornamentation that was done in these palaces, was to tell a story. And we had a great story in the last installment, but now we're going to tell you another story involving these seemingly innocent ornamental statues. Seemingly. Because there is something going on here. There's a very vital story, and this would have meant something to people at the time when they saw the statues. Arthur, take it away.
I will.
Please do.
I will.
Please do. Please
So
do.
see, that's you when you are a kid and there's your mother.
Yeah.
You are taking advantage first of your parents, but you don't realize that. So this is how your life begins.
Because you're riding on your mother.
Yes, exactly.
Back.
Exactly. And then your life continues. So look, you meet another person, even though you are already adult, then these sculptures are presenting children. So that's the fun part, that they are still children, but you meet another person. Can you see? You want to get to know another person, but another person, hey, wait a second, hold your horses. But then after some time, let's take a closer look what they are doing over there. See, they are kissing.
So you're growing up. So you're graduating from basic initial social relationships to graduating to a sexual relationship. That's really what's represented here, right?
Okay, so I like your straight to the point conversations, and but yes, you are growing up.
Yeah.
Things are changing in your lives,
Yeah.
and all our lives.
And looking for a partner in some sense.
Yes, look, these
yeah.
sculptures once again give us reasons for conversations.
Right.
So let's take a look what happens next.
Okay.
And let's ask ourselves a question. if
Okay.
such things didn't happen in our lives before. So, Micho, have you ever met a boy and you were thinking something about this boy and then this boy turned out to be a totally different person than you thought?
The proper answer would be yes. That was very long.
I will not go any deeper into this story.
In other words, the idea of the next statue is you're not always sure what you're dealing with, and people change also
Yes.
once you know them, right?
Yeah.
They can do. Yeah.
This boy has a mask right in here, and the mask is presented to this another person, and another person is afraid of that
Yeah,
mask.
because what is the mask? The mask, as we can see, is the head of a dog or a wolf or
Yes.
a fox, some kind of animal like that. Maybe it's a fox.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a fox?
Yeah, I
Looks
think
like a fox, doesn't it?
It looks like a dog.
Okay, it looks like a dog. I don't know. It's a dog. It's a fox.
But
it's a
also
wolf.
this dog.
It's not an elephant, folks.
This dog, can you see? Can you see his mouth? It's like
Yeah.
making you afraid. So you make a face.
Well, he's afraid.
He
or she.
He or she, exactly.
Yeah.
And they are afraid. And look what happens next. Then they fight.
Ah, so this creates the fear becomes anger.
And isn't
Yeah.
this scene of the fight presented in an amazing way?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a female and a male.
Maybe it's a female and male, maybe it's a male and female. That's the story of our lives. So that's the continuation. But how does it end? Look, it ends that you are taken advantage of. Remember how our story began?
Yeah, the story began with you
Taking advantage
taking advantage of
unconsciously.
your mother. Yeah.
Exactly.
You ride on your parents' backs. That's the point.
And this
Ask
is-
any millennial.
Yes, exactly. And this is how the
Sorry,
situation
Arthur.
turns.
Sorry, Arthur.
Once again,
I said ask any millennial. Sorry,
Ask.
but not except you. I wasn't talking about you.
okay,
Yeah, I wanted to make that clear
okay,
because you do your own thing.
okay.
But a lot of
Okay.
but a lot of people would ride on the backs, and then your kid rides on your back, right?
Circulation of
That's the
Polish
point.
history, circulation of our own lives is represented by the ornamentation that we can see on the palace and the sculptures that we can see outside the palace.
These are all about life cycles because
Exactly.
they're very concerned with the story of birth, growth, and death because these were obsessions at a time. People forget that medicine wasn't always like it is now. And these
Exactly.
were obsessions of the time. The obsession with having children to have a legacy, with surviving illness and childbirth and illness and other things, war, poverty, all kinds of things, right? And then the approach of the end, and then how you would face that, right? So all of these, even those frescoes we see over there on the back of these statues, they're all representing exactly the nice story that you just told. The cycle. Was it the circle of life? No, it sounds like the Lion
story?
King.
Was it the nice story?
It sounds like the Lion King.
That was just the real story.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's a story anyone
hopefully
can relate to.
our king had such reasons for conversations when he was inviting in here guests from all around Poland, Europe. He was a traveler himself. He collected his education all around Europe. He visited another European countries. In the days of the king, Polish man was speaking fluent Italian. And then when he was going to a regular Italian bar, when the bartender got to know that it's a Polish guy, the first beer was on the house. Just because you won all of these battles, then the first beer is on the house. So this is how Polish man was greeted in an Italian bar in 17th century.
Yeah, but people seem to have forgotten that.
Yes, maybe I think that maybe 50 years ago, in communist days, if such Polish guy went to such an Italian bar, everyone would check if their wallets are still there in their pockets at the beginning. So that's the circulation of Polish history I
cycle
wanted to
of
tell you
history.
about.
It's a cycle of history. Hey, come on, I got an idea. Follow me.